I'm just talking about the Linux commands which we have discussed over the last few days. Like few things are something like ls minus lrth, and also we discussed about the permissions, right? For how to give a permissions for a given file or a directory, like using ch mode. And also, if you remember, we have discussed about the octal representation also over here. Like for read, we need to give 4. For write, we need to give 2. And for execute, we need to give 1. Okay. So if you want to give a permissions for a specific, if you say chmod 771, like can someone try like what exactly the permission we will be giving over there? Guys, I want it to be like you people. I want you people also talk on this. Like if you don't remember this, please let me know. I will explain it again. Otherwise, please. Okay, it's fine. So if you don't remember it, like I will just repeat it again. Like 7 is something like, it is something like read, write, execute for the group. Initially, if I want for a given user, I want both all the 3 permissions, read, write, execute. I will give 7 at first. So read, write, execute. The next 7 indicates for the group. For the same group, I am giving read, write, execute here because it is 7, right? 2 plus 4 plus 1, it is 7. But the third one I gave only, for others I gave only 1. What is the permissions for I gave it for others? It is only 1. So it is something like hyphen hyphen execute. So these are the permissions that I have given for file.txt using this first command. Again, in the second command, I gave 741, right? If I give 741, initially 7 represents read, write, execute for the user, and 4 represent only read permission. So I need to remove write and execute for this group. And the third one I have given is something like only execute permissions, which is something like 1. Hope you people remember this. Like, please do remember. If you don't understand this also, please do call it. Okay. So these are the few things which we have discussed. And apart from that, we also discussed about user and group on a high level, right? We haven't gone into depth. Suppose there is an user for the given Linux operating system like Harsha, and it belongs to group Harsha. There is another user like Deepak, it belongs to group Harsha. And another user like user 3 Veena, it belongs to group test. Let's try to create them and let's see how the permissions works over here. Okay. Today's session is mostly based on this. Okay. Let's go over there. So right now I'm in user Harsha. How I'm coming to know that I'm using user Harsha? If you see here, it is showing Harsha. And also there can be a command I can use, like if I use who am I, it will show which user I have logged in. Okay. Suppose if I want to switch to my root user, the command I need to use is something like sudo su hyphen root. Now it is asking for my Harsha's password, sudo password. Now I need to give my password. So in this way, I can switch from one user to another user using sudo su hyphen and root. Root is basically the username which you want to switch. So if you see here, initially I logged in with the user Harsha. Now it has been moved to root. Again, if you use the command who am I also, it will show I have been using user root. Okay. From root user, we have permissions to create anything, delete everything. It is like the name only suggests this, right? It's the root user of your operating system. Using this user, you can perform anything in your operating system. Okay. You can delete, execute, update, write, read, and everything. Okay. Now I'm creating another user. Let me try to create a user here. The command that we need to use here is something like user add. Okay. And let us take an example. like I will try to create a user like Harish or here. Yeah. Harish. So I am creating a new user Harish or here. And for each and every user that you have created, there will be some home directory that is assigned to it. So if you create a home directory, most of the bash profile and also some of the few commands which we need to run over there can be moved to the bash profile that can be kept in the home directory of the corresponding user as such. That's why we are creating a home directory for this. So the path for the home directory is something like, see, we need to specify option -d /home/Harish. It is a path, it is a home directory path for the user Harish. Okay. Let me execute this command. Now, if you see, an user has been created over here, and also this folder will be also, this directory will be also created. Let us see whether we have this directory created or not. +-lrts/home. Here we see a new directory that has been created with the name Harish. And the user for this directory is something like, hello, there is slight disturbance from your side. Like, can someone mute yourself? Okay. So if you see here, for this directory Harish, there is a user that has been assigned. The username for this is something like Harish. And also the group name is also by default, it is assigned to Harish over here, right? So in this way, we can create a user and assign a specific user to the corresponding home directory as such. Okay. Now, if I want to switch to the directory home Harish, sorry, I want to switch to the user Harish. How to switch to that user? My command is something like su switch user is the command, hyphen and space. What is the username? Harish. Now I have switched to the user Harish. If you see here, if you see, it is Harish over here. And also if I do who am I over here, you will be seeing the user Harish over here. In this way, I can switch across multiple users as such. Okay. Now let us see like how the permissions, based on the permissions, how everything will be affected. Okay. And apart from that, before going to the permissions and everything, let us see like what is the home directory that I have logged in. If I do pwd, the home directory for this user Harish is something like /home/Harish. In this way, we can create multiple users, and also we can create groups also. And after creating those groups, we can assign these groups to that user. Okay, we will go to that later. Okay, right now we are discussing about user. So using user add, we have created a user Harish, and the home directory for that user is /home/Harish. Okay. So if you see here, there is a file in the Harsha as a user, right? There is one file like funion.sh. So what is the permissions for the user here? What is the permissions for the user Harsha? Read, write. It doesn't have execute permissions. And what is the permissions for the group Harsha? It is something like read, write, and it doesn't have execute permissions. So others. So if it doesn't belongs to user Harsha or group Harsha, what is the permission this file have? Can you look here? Like what is the permission this file have if it doesn't belongs to user or user Harsha or group Harsha? It has only permissions to read, but not write or not execute over here. That's right. So if you want to do any updates on the function funion.sh, if you don't belongs to user Harsha, if you don't belong to group Harsha, what will happen? We will see. Right now, what is my user? Harish. It is not Harsha, right? So using my name Harish, username Harish, if I perform anything over here, I will get only these read permissions, but not write or execute. Let's see whether I can read the file funion.sh, which is there in the folder and user Harsha. Cat home. Cat slash home slash Harsha slash fun I1.sh. So right now, using cat, I'm able to read the content of the file fun I1.sh. So what is the permission for this file? Let us do ls minus lrth. So this file belongs to user Harsha and group Harsha. Now we are in user Harish, which is a different user. So from my user, if I perform any operation, I have only read permissions based on the permissions which I have given. If I do any write operations over here, will it accept?
No.
No, right? Let's check whether it will accept or not. Let's prove it. Right, based on the permissions, it should not accept. Let's try the same thing. VI is something like visual editor, which we will be learning later. But right now, visual editor is something like using that editor, we will be trying to edit that file. Home Harsha. Okay. Right now, I'm able to open this file. But if you see here in the bottom, it is showing only read only. If I try to delete something. So it won't be deleting because it is saying warning, changing on read-only file. So for the user Harish, you have only permissions to read, but you don't have permissions to write and execute. In this way, the permissions are so useful. Whenever you are assigning your permissions, you must be mindful the way we assign a permissions for a given file or a folder as such. Hope it is clear for you people till now.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Like if it is not clear, please let me know. Like I will try to explain it again. Otherwise, we'll go to the next comments. Okay. Like so similarly, right now we have created what we have created an user. Similarly, we can create a group also. Like how to create a group? Did anyone try to create a group? So the command for creating a user is something like user add. So similarly, if you want to create a group, you need to create a group name like group add. And group name can be some test. Okay. So whenever you are trying to create some group or an user, basically you need to have enough permissions to create it. So for that, you need to log into a root user as such. Right now, I'm in the user Harish. I don't have enough permissions to create a group user or anything. That is why I'm going back to my root user. Okay. Now I will try to add a group, group, add test. Okay. Now I have created a group test, right? So if you see here, ls minus lrth slash home. So by default, if you create a user and if you don't specify any group over there, it will create the group also with the same name. Right? If you see here, I have created a user Deepak. By default, it created a group name Deepak only. I have created a user Harsha, it created a group Harsha. I created Harish, group Harish has been created by the Linux operating system only. But now I have created another group like test. I want to add this test to this corresponding things. How to add? So do anyone have idea like how to add a group to an existing user? Okay, fine. Let's learn that command. Okay, the command is something like user modification. So right now for this user Harish, we have group Harish created. I want to assign group test which I have created to user Harish. So that is what I'm trying to do. For that, I'm modifying the existing user mod -a. I need to specify the group name which I want to add. That is something like test. Now, what is my username? Harish. For Harish, I want to use group as test. Okay. Now let's move. So what happened is something like, so there are two types of groups that has been assigned to the user Harish. One is something like, if I do ID Harish, it will be showing two groups that has been assigned. The first group that has been assigned is something like, the group is something like Harish 1002. This is something like inbuilt representation, and 1003. So this Harish as a user belongs to two different groups as such. Okay. So there is also a way to remove an user from a specific group. Right now, after adding test to the user Harish, I want to remove this group Harish from this user Harish. Shall we do that? Let's use this command. -d, g password -d. First of all, we need to specify username, which user it belongs to. Sorry, yeah, g pass. Okay. G PSSWD -d HRS Harish. First one, we need to specify the user. Next one, the group which we want to remove it from. I want both are same, right? Harish. Or else we can use group. 1 second. Removing user Harish from group Harish. User Harish is not member of Harish. Why? Let me do ID. Okay. Right now, what it is trying to do is something like, it is not removing the default user that has been assigned by it. We can only delete the new groups that has been assigned to the specific user. So initially we have assigned a group test for the user Harish, right? So right now, using this command, I have deleted the group that has been assigned to the user Harish. So if I do ID Harish, it is showing only the initial group that has been assigned. By default, we cannot delete the default group that has been assigned to a specific user. Okay. So these are few of the commands which we need to understand as part of the user creation and deletion, and also group creation and deletion. Okay. So the next one we need to know is something like, so hope it is clear for you till now. Do you have any questions? Hello.
Will you please repeat it again?
Oh, sure. Suppose there is a user like ID, like, right? I have created a user Harish. So if I want to see what are all the groups that has been assigned to a specific user, I need to check the command ID space Harish. So Harish as an user is assigned to group Harish. Okay. In future, I also have created another group, right? Using group add command. I have created a group test. I want to add that group to this user. What is the command I have used over there? User mod.
Group
At that
add.
time, sorry, user
Group
mod.
add you have.
No, group add is to create a group.
Okay.
So I created a group named test. So right now I'm modifying the existing user and trying to add a new group to the existing user. For that, I'm using the command user modification. Group add is something like to create a new group. User add is to create a new user. Okay. So using user mod, already I have created a group test. I am assigning this test to the user Harish. Let's try this. If you see ID Harish over here, so now along with the group Harish, I have added one more group to this user test. Okay. So similarly, if I want to delete that user test from the group Harish, sorry, user Harish, what exactly I need to do? I need to use this g password -d Harish space. Harish is the username and the group name that has been assigned over here. That is something like test. Let me try to delete. So removing user Harish from the group test. Okay. If I do ID over here again, now the group that has been the group that I have assigned to the user Harish has been removed over here.
What is it for -e and -d? User mod -e is there, right?
Okay.
What it is?
So yeah. Your question is absolutely valid. Like if you want to know any of the commands, like I'm saying ls minus lrth, right? So what is L, what is R, what is T, what is H? Generally, like you must understand, right? It is something like delete over here, -d. But generally, if you want to really know what exactly each and everything means, you need to know one command in Linux. That is something like man ls. If you do man ls, it will give you all the options. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So in general, I'm using L or TH, right? You can go and read like what is the L, long listing format. It will show everything in long listing format. What is R, recursive. Okay. What is R, recursive. Okay. What is small r, reverse. So T, sort based on the modification time. You know, right? Newest file that has been created will be shown at the bottom. In this way, if you want to know what are each and option that we need to use for any command, you need to go over here and just do man, the specific command. Okay. Similarly, man user mod. Okay. Man user add. So in user add, we had used an option D, right? So if you go to what is an option D, we can specify the home directory for that user that we have created. So in this way, if you want to know what are the commands which we have used and what are the options which we can use for a specific command, you can use this command man. Okay. And you asked me about
A question from me.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry. Are you going to give us a list of all the command line that we can use for different things?
Exactly. Like I have prepared the list for all the commands. Like I will share the documentation with you people. Like why I haven't shared yesterday is something like it has a lot of commands, like without knowing most of the things, if I share with you is something like it is difficult for you, right? To understand all those things. Like today, end of the day, Madhu or someone will share you all these details. Okay, you can practice these things. I have listed all those commands, and also there is a short explanation for each and command which we have to use over there. Okay.
Yeah, but for commands which you have shared in the documentation, but there is you are listed as ls. So side you directory listed list of directory. But if you give some hyphen or some space, then we'll know how much command and how much text is there, because everything was mixed up there.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I understood your problem. Okay, okay, okay.
So
I will try to create a proper documentation, and again I will share it with you. Okay.
Okay, okay. Thank
Maybe
you.
I will give you some indentation properly over there, and I will update it.
So command and the text were both mixed up, and how where the command is ending, where the text when we are studying now, it is bit confusing like that.
True. What you said is absolutely right. Yeah, true.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will try to provide in 1 to 2 days then. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Meanwhile, you people have received some commands over there, right? Maybe you can go through. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So these are like few of the commands for the user creation, deletion, and also group creation and deletion. Let's go through few other process management commands. Okay. Right now, if you the basic command, like everyone has to understand for a given process, like if you want to check what are all the running processes in your mission, the basic command that you need to know is something like top. It will show what are all the commands that has been running in your operating system. And it will also show how much CPU that has been utilized, how much CPU that has been free, and also how much memory that has been utilized, and how much memory that has been free, and how much has been assigned to buffer or cache. Okay. Here, if you see load average, it is showing about all the options are here. And also right now, I have logged in with 2 users. The first user I have logged in is something like, I have logged in with my root user, like my user Harsha, right? Again, I switch to user root. So it will show as 2 users. Again, if I switch from root to another user like Harish, which I have created, it will show 3 users. And also the uptime of this mission, like I have started this mission 45 minutes before. Till now, I kept this instance as shutdown. That's why it is showing the uptime of that instance also. Okay. Apart from that, it is also showing few of the processes that are running. Okay. For each and every processes, it is showing how much CPU that is consumed, how much memory that the process is consumed, and also the uptime of this thing, and also the process ID that it belongs to. Okay. So for this genome -shell, the process ID is something like 2035 or whatever. So there are few commands, like even the top command which I have executed, this is process, right? Every command which I execute turns into a process, right? So even the top command that I have executed is a process, and the process ID for this is something like 3788. And also you will also know who has started this process. Right now, I have executed the top command from the user root, right? That's why it is showing user root has been executed. If you execute something from the user Harsha, it will be showing you have started with the user Harsha as such. Okay. This is the command where if you want to see all the running process in your Linux mission, and also which user has started and what is the process ID, you can see it over here. Suppose I want to kill that process. The command which I need to use over here is something like kill -9 and the process ID. What is the process ID for the top command? 3788. Let's go to another terminal and try to create it. Delete it. I'm in terminal 2. What is the process ID? 3777. 3788. Sudo su hyphen is something like I'm switching to the user root. Now I'm trying to kill the process. My command that I need to use is something like kill -9, the process ID 3788. I think 3788. Let's go over there. Is it 3788? Yeah. So initially it used to change every time, like based on the CPU and RAM memory utilization. Now, if you see, this command has been killed. Suppose you have started some Java process as your application. If you want to kill that application or your Java process, you can find the process ID for that corresponding process and kill it. Let's try the same example once again. Again, top command. Now the process ID for this top command is something like 3917. Again, let's try to kill this command. Kill -9 3917. If you go here, it is killed. So in this way, we can create or delete, sorry, we can kill a process that is running. Okay. Suppose, let's go to other commands as well. Okay. Let's go through some system commands which we use on a daily basis. Okay. Suppose I want to know the time and date of the current operating system. What is the command that I need to use? Date. So basically, if I give date as a command over here, it will be showing like what is the time zone it is running on, what is the current time on this mission, and what is the date, September 1st, Thursday, EDT, and 2022. Okay. And if I want to know from how much time the system is running, using top command also we came to know, like from last 49 minutes it is running, right? So you can use another command like uptime. So from the last 15 minutes, it has been running. And there are three users that have logged in, right? I have logged in with user Harsha and also user root. And also another terminal I have logged in again with the user root, user Harsha, right? So that's why 3 users has been logged in right now. And if you want to see what are the users that have logged in, we need to use this command W. So it will show who are all the users that you have logged in with. Like I opened 3 terminals with the user Harsha. That is what it is trying to say. And you already know, right? Who am I is the command through which you will understand which user I have logged in with. Right now, my user is something like root. And if you want to know which kernel are you using, so we already discussed about kernel and everything, right? So what is the kernel which we are using? What is the kernel settings which we are using? If you want to know, this is the command which we need to check. Uname -a. Okay. And if you want to check how much CPU that has been assigned to your operating system, you need to check nproc. So right now there is a 1 core of CPU that has been assigned to your virtual machine. Okay. And apart from that, if you want to see how much RAM that has been there in this mission, how to check? We need to give free. Free is the command, FREE. So total, we have around 1.4 GB of RAM that has been assigned to this operating system, like the virtual machine, and out of which 655 MB has been used and 306 is free. Okay, apart from that, I also have assigned 1 GB of swap space to this machine. Okay. So basically, we need to know like nproc and free -mh are some of the important commands. Like in general, like people will ask you like how much CPU that your machine has. We need to first check using the command nproc. And using nproc, we can say that it is a 1-core mission. Or if it is 4, we can say 4-core mission. And also people will ask you to check whether the CPU or sorry, whether the RAM has been filled, means memory has been filled up. So at that time we can use this command free -mh. And using this command, you can see how much RAM that has been assigned to this mission and how much has been used. If it is completely used, then at that time we should kill few processes that is consuming the complete RAM. Okay. What is difference between mh and m is something like, if you remove, okay. H is something like it is showing thing in the human readable format. So if you don't give H or here you are seeing, right, 1481. It is almost similar to 1.4 GB. If you give option H, you will be getting in the human readable format. So these kind of options, basically you need to go and check in the man command. Based on that, we have to use all these options for a given command as such. Okay. So one more important command we need to check is something like disk uses. Sometimes your application will not be started if the disk is completely used. Like for that, if you want to check it, like in logs also, you will be getting these kind of logs, like stating that disk is completely full, disk is completely used up. That's why your application is not starting. At the time, if you want to check how much disk has been used for a given partition, then you need to use this command df. So if you give df-h, it will be giving in the human readable format. So if you see here, there are a couple of partitions which are 100% filled. If your application which you are running is trying to push some logs over there in this run media, harsha, something over here, at that time, the application won't be able to push the logs, right? At that time, you need to come here and clean the logs. Here also you can see the slash folder is 72% filled. Something like out of 8 GB, 5.7 GB is filled. So these are some of the useful commands like df-h. Using this command, we will be seeing the disk uses. And there is one more important command which we need to remember is something like du. So using that du, we can dig deep into each and every directory and in that we can see which directory is consuming a specific amount of size. Suppose if you see out of 8 GB, 5.7 GB is consumed, right, in the slash. But in slash, there are multiple folders. Let's go deep into them and let's see whichever folder is consuming how much of size. Okay. Let's do cd/. Let's do ls-lrt. Here we see a couple of folders like srv, mnt, media, and there are var, boots. There are few folders, right? I want to see which folder is consuming how much of size. For that, I need to use the command du-sh star. So it will show which folder is using how much of memory. The boot is using 207 MB, etc using 42 MB. Like it is computing the other folder sizes also. Once it is done, we will see. Okay. Okay, home is using 412 MB. If you see 0 or here, like these folders are not consuming anything. Like right now, these folders are empty. That's why it is showing 0 MB over there. Suppose there is a folder like logs over there in this root slash. So this is consuming more size. Like if you want to delete those logs, you need to dig deep into each and every folder. Like right now, the run is the thing which is consuming 4.6 GB, right? Again, let's go to run folder and see which folder is consuming around 4.6 GB. Let's do Control C, cd run. Again, the same command, du-sh star. So after doing du-sh star, you can see in this media is the only folder which is consuming more memory, 4.5 GB. And remaining things are something like KBs, MBs, and everything, right? Let's go to media. What is there in media? Again, the same command, du-sh star. In this, there is a folder like Harsha. This is consuming more. Let's go to Harsha. Okay. If you see here, CentOS as an operating system is altogether consuming 4.5 GB. Right now, we should not be deleting this CentOS. If you delete it, our virtual machines will not work. In general, if you see any log file or something which is consuming more memory over there, and your disk space is completely filled up, at that time we can dig deep into these folders like this and see which log folder is consuming more memory. And after that, we can delete that corresponding file over there. Okay, this is something like an important command, like please do remember. So if you want to see the complete disk uses, you need to use this command df-h, which will show all the partitions and the corresponding usages. And if you see individual folder usages, like if you want to, like I'm in the present working directory, something like run media Harsha. In this folder, if I want to see what each folder is consuming, I need to use du-sh star. So basically, now I came to know CentOS is consuming 4.5 GB and VirtualBox is consuming 96 MB. Right now, I am not deleting it because it is the base of this operating system. Right? Okay, is it clear till now?
Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Let's go to next step. So suppose if I install a custom location, like if I install a custom command, like right now I don't know Git is there or not in my machine. Git is not there. CP is there, right? By default, CP will be there. Okay, CP command is there, but options we have specified. We haven't specified, right? If I want to know which path the CP has been installed, I need to use the command which CP. So basically, it is showing /bin/cp. Okay. Similarly, if I want to check any command like which man command, what is the location where the man command has been installed? I can check with the thing like which and the corresponding name of the command. So in this way, by default, most of the commands which are providing by the operating system will be there in the bin only. So these are like by default commands that are provided by the operating system. Like if you want to see any location that has been, what is the location that has been installed? You can come to cd bin and you can see what are all the commands that has been installed over there. So these are few of the system commands we need to understand. Like out of them, the most important command which we need to remember is something like how to know the number of like how to check the CPU and how to check the RAM and disk fragmentation, df and du. And these are like 4 important commands everyone has to remember. Okay. Hope that is fine for you people. There is a slight disturbance. Can someone mute themselves? Yeah. Okay. Let's go to few networking commands. Okay. So right now, if you see, like I want to show you a few networking commands over here. Like if you want to check one host from another host, like if you want to check from this mission, if you are able to reach another mission, Then you need to give this command ping IP of the next host. Right now, I'm not checking anything right now. I don't have any other mission, right? Right now, let me check whether I'm able to reach Google. Ping google.com. Like if I have internet connected to my instance, I can reach Google. Right now, I don't have internet connection to my instance. Let's see what is the response. Right now, google.com, it is unable to reach it. Let me try to connect to internet from here. Right click, void connection, connect. So I think it has been connected to internet. Void connected. Let me ping the Google again. Now you see the response, right? I'm able to ping the Google. In this way, using the ping command, you can see whether a specific host is reachable from your mission or not. So if you want to check whether internet is accessible from your local, you can just ping google.com. If you want to check any other host is reachable from your mission, you can give the ping, and after that the IP of that mission, like 192.171, like whatever the IP of the host that has been used. So in this way, you can say whether that mission is reachable and whether the mission is in your network or not. If it is not reachable, you need to enable few firewalls, and we need to open from firewalls and some ports as such. Okay. HTTP status. Okay. Let's see, like, suppose if I want to download some file from the internet or RPM or something like that from the internet, RF image from the internet, what I have to do? First of all, I need to go to internet. Like for that, I need to open browser. You saw it, right? Right now, the Google is reachable from my mission after enabling the internet to my operating system. That's why I'm going to Firefox and trying to download few components from the browser. For that, I opened Firefox in my operating system and trying to get few links. Images. I just opened the yeah. Google.com. From my mission, the internet should be reachable. I should be able to see the Google right now. So, hello world image. Let me try to see it. Okay. So from here, I want to download this hello world image in my terminal. So copy image link. Let's go to my terminal. And let's use the command wget. Paste. Oh. This This is too long actually, this image URL. Let me copy image link. Copy link is a copy link. Clear? Paste. So right now, like if you want to download anything from the internet, if you have proper network connection to the Google, right now we can use the wget command. And using that wget command, you can simply use wget command to download the specific image. This is the PNG that has been downloaded from the internet. Similarly, if you want to download any RPMs to install in your local, or if you want to download any application servers or something like that, which doesn't have any authentication that is required. So then we can simply use wget to download in your local. Okay. And so in this way, these are like few of the networking commands. And if you want to check whether a port is already in use or not, we can use the command netstat, netstat -nlap command. So if you give netstat -nlap, it will show what are all the processes that are running and what are all the corresponding ports also that the process is using. Okay. If you want to check a process is using the port 80 or not, let's try to use this command netstat -nlap grep8 5 grep8. So it is not finding the exact match, right? Like if you want to check the exact match, like let's scroll up and see. So port 80 is already in use. Like we cannot use the port 80 to start another application over there. So similarly, if you want to check the port 443 is already in use or not, we can use this command netstat -nlap. Like these are not like exact matches. Like 443 is also already in use. We cannot use the same port order. Like if you see a :443, right? So there is some application which is running internally, which is using this port. Okay. In this way, we can use this command netstat -nlap, and we can check it whether the thing is reachable or not. Okay. And also you can check whether an specific host is reachable on a specific IP and port combination. Suppose there is an application which is running on a different mission and it is using port 8433. At that time, if you want to check whether that application which is running in a different mission is reachable from your mission or not, we can use the command telnet and the IP of that mission and port of the application. So if you give telnet IP and the port, at that time, it will say whether the mission is reachable with the specific port. So these are like few of the networking commands which we need to learn so that we will understand the basics. So hope it is clear for you people till now. Like the final set of commands which we'll be learning today is something like compression commands. Once we are done with these compression commands, we can close all these commands and we can just go with the next steps. Like we can practice all these commands by installing a virtual box. And also the next thing we will be doing is something like we will be learning the basics of the shell scripting using these commands, using few of these commands as such. Okay. Are we clear with this networking commands till now? Till now we have learned about couple of networking commands. One is something like ping. So using this ping command, we can see the host, a specific host is reachable or not. Now we checked whether the Google is reachable from your local. We did ping google.com. After that, we came to know Google is reachable. So after that, there is one more command like wget. Wget command is to download a specific content from the internet. So using wget, if you give any URL over there, it will try to download that content from there. And the next command we have learned is something like netstat. If you want to check whether a port is already in use or not, we use the command netstat-nlap and grab that corresponding port. If you get any options with those ports which is already in use, you can say the port is already in use, and we can use another port other than that port. Okay. The final command which we have learned is something like telnet. So from your mission, if you want to check whether the combination of IP and port of another mission and another application is reachable from your local, we can use telnet as a command. Right now, I don't have any mission to show it other. In future, definitely I will show. But if you want to check, suppose there is an application which is running on port 80 is running another mission. If it is if you want to check whether it is reachable from your local, then you need to use this command telnet, IP of that mission and port on which it is running on. Okay. So these are like few of the networking commands which we have learned today. And the final set of commands is something like compression commands. So for compression commands, we need to understand few things like right now I'm in user Harsha. I want to zip this folder or file. So there are multiple compression techniques which we can use. First one is something like basic zipping of that file. And there are other in-depth compression techniques also, like we can use tar. So tar inbuilt uses gzip compression and everything, which compresses extensively. The basic compression, if you want to use or to bundle some sort of folders as such, we can use a zip command. So zip-r. Suppose I want to zip this public directory. So I'm using zip-r test.zip. So the name of the zip command that I want, sorry, the name of the zip, the public should be kept on. I kept it over here. Suppose I have created a test.zip, right? This public folder will be zipped in the name test.zip. So finally, I need to give the folder that I need to zip public. So right now, if you see here, so I created a zip folder of this folder public. Let me remove this RM and RM. Okay. Right now, I don't have public, right? Let me unzip this. Unzip. So I got this, after unzipping this, I got the original folder back. In this way, we can zip multiple contents in a single folder and we can transfer it from one location to another location so easily. So these are like first compression technique which we will be using. Apart from that, there are few other compression technique also which we can use. Tar. tar-cvf is the command to compress any folder or file. So let me compress test.zip. ls-lrth. Right now, I want to compress jenkins.txt, right? tar-cvf jenkins.txt. Cowardly refusing to create an empty archive. Tar help for tar users. Let us check what are all the options it has. tar-help. tar -help. So tar -help, like any command -help also will give you the options that we can use it over there, apart from the man as well. Okay. So here we can see what are the options the tar has and how to use the tar as a command.
Sorry, your voice is not audible.
Am I not audible? Like from how much time I am not audible? Like, hello? Hello?
Yes, you were audible.
Oh, okay. So is it issue for a specific person or the other persons also facing the same issue? I think only one person is facing this issue. Like, let us go with the tar command and continue with the tar command. This is our final command for today. So as I said, tar-cvf. And what is the tar file which we need to create? We need to specify similar to zip. Okay. Okay. Jenkins.tar. And what file we need to compress. So now it has created a Jenkins.tar. So CVS is to compress it. If you want to uncompress it, we need to use XVF. tar-xvf jenkins.tar. So it will uncompress and it will show the command after uncompressing. So these are the two commands which we can use, like tar-xvf and tar-cvf. To compress it, we need to use tar-cvf and the compression file name. Like first one, I want to like jenkins.tar and which file or folder I want to compress. Jenkins.txt. It has compressed and created jenkins.tar. And if I want to extract the compressed one, tar-xvf and the corresponding tar file that I have generated. It will show jenkins.txt after uncompressing the data. Okay. Similarly, here we have terraform something.zip, right? If you want to unzip it, you just can use this command unzip. It will just unzip it. And it will create a folder like Terraform out here. If you see, a folder like Terraform has been created. Initially, I think this folder is not there. If I scroll up, so this Terraform folder is not there. After unzipping it, we see this folder Terraform that has been created. In this way, we can use the tar as a compression command and extraction command. And also we can use zipping and unzipping command and transfer the files after zipping to another folder or another mission as such. So these are like few of the basic commands which we have to learn. As discussed with you people, I will be sharing another set of documentation with the indentation followed as well. Hope it is clear for everyone till now. And apart from that, I want everyone to download the VirtualBox in their local. Like I think as you have received the documentation, I have given you the links of the VirtualBox and also given you the link of CentOS. Like once you download it, in the next session, I will be letting you know the installation steps for creating this VirtualBox on top of CentOS, so that you can practice all these commands which we have learned till now.
Okay.
Okay, like any other questions till now? Hope it is clear for you people. Like if you have any questions, like please feel free to ask. Tomorrow also morning we can also discuss the same. Okay. And before tomorrow's session, like I want everyone to download both the CentOS operating system in your local and also Oracle VirtualBox in your local. Okay. I want someone to share their screen. I will just call out someone in the team. I want to share their screen, and from there we will be installing the virtual box on your local. Hope it is fine for you people.